Today is the day we could finally see the race for Denver mayor pared down from a field of dozens of candidates. Today was the day candidates had to turn in signatures to get on the ballot. And of the 26 candidates, 25 turned in signatures. You got to keep 25 candidates. This debate is going to be out of control. So the candidates had to submit signatures for verification by 5 o'clock today. Now, it is possible that some of the signatures of all of these candidates will not turn out to be valid, and those candidates, therefore, will not make the ballot. 10 of them have already had their signatures approved, so they're on the ballot in April. Elections workers will be checking signatures for the other 15. The only candidate for Denver mayor who did not turn in signatures is that dude named Sean Gallegos, who got into the race earlier this week. We never did figure out who he was. He's out. And another little-known candidate left to run for city council. Oh, have I mentioned that 9 News is going to host a debate with all of the candidates participating in the Fair Election Fund public financing? We don't even need to get into it. 25 people. Cool. You know how folks will send around a picture like on social media of a cattle drive or sheep on a country road and say, that's a Colorado traffic jam. Well, an urban version of that just happened. Stock show competitors and their animals got stranded trying to get out of the city in this week's snow. Couldn't go real far back east with the road shut down, and space at the stock show was already promised to competitors who were coming into town. Some people had to spend the night by the side of the road or go to random ranches. So the stock show kind of operates in part like a hotel. Animal owners make reservations to lodge their animals in the facility's barns. Competitors who could not get home in the snow, therefore, weren't able to just extend their stay at the stock show because that space was already reserved for somebody coming in. But unlike when a hotel is booked, you can't just take your steer down the street to the Hyatt. We talked to 2 competitors who scrambled to find a place for their horses last night. Laura Hoff and Silo Shera were calling ranches all over the place. Shiloh Sarah found one in Watkins with space, but then had to turn around because I-70 was closed. Late last night, stock show officials told them some limited stalls had come available. They said when they showed up, though, looked like there was plenty of room with the animal in.
But they didn't have enough stalls, right? Wrong. There's 5 empty ones. There's like 10 empty ones. There's 3 more empty ones.
We counted, and there were 75 open stalls in the expo barn alone. This morning, when we went and picked up our horses, there were 4 mules that had moved in, so there were over 70 stalls still open this morning. I don't understand why they were so firm and dishonest about the barns being full and not letting people stay. We watched some other people, friends of ours, leave in tears because they were fearful for their horses.
You can understand the frustration if you and your family were turned away from a motel and saw a bunch of rooms sitting empty. Hoff and Shiloh both say that the experience has made them reconsider returning next year. We reached out to the stock show. Spokesperson sent us a statement saying that the safety of the animals on their grounds is their priority, and they noted that they did make accommodations last night. Lots of Monday morning plow operators out there this week, criticizing this, criticizing that. Goodness knows I've done it right here on this show. But, you know, there are some basic expectations we have as drivers. Like when they plow a main street, a busy street, they do the whole thing. They don't put the plow down for one block, pick it up for the next block. That's what drivers can expect. Now get on a bike in Denver. Here's Marshall Zellinger.
Hey, I see pavement. The streets got plowed this storm, at least some of the streets, for some of those who get by with wheels. This is West Yale Avenue between Irving and Sheridan. On the outside of the lanes, you can see the green bike lane markers. You can see them because those sections are protected by bollards and thus get plowed by the city. But the entire stretch is not protected by bollards, and the city does not clear those areas. So cyclists have some plowed bike lane, then they have to join traffic, and then more plowed bike lane.
It's not just visually that it looks silly, but it also looks inappropriate. If someone were to bike there, it's not only inappropriate, it's not safe.
West Yale Avenue is part of Denver City Councilman Kevin Flynn's district. He was part of meetings last year about the creation of the bike lanes, which included the results of a city study on how many cars come through here and how fast the drivers go. 9,400 cars travel this 30-mile-per-hour section daily. The city found 85% of the drivers go 37 miles per hour or slower westbound and 39 miles per hour or slower eastbound.
Based on the speed and volume, a protected facility would be appropriate for this corridor. However, based on feedback we've received, we're going to try installing a buffered bike lane first.
To force someone back out onto the vehicle lanes is simply not safe under the parameters that you just discussed from the meeting from last year.
The protected parts of the bike lane get this front end loader that we saw this afternoon. The buffered parts of the bike lanes look behind the front end loader, over here. Those parts only have road paint between the car lane and the bike lane, and the front end loader skips those areas.
In conditions like this, we simply have to clear the buffered area along with the protected area. The challenge, Marshall, though, is I got to get ready then to get about 50 calls from people who live along Yale who just cleared their sidewalks.
He's not wrong. Clearly, a front end loader is not going to do this stretch of road right off the side of Yale. A spokeswoman for the city department that plows the roads tells me that buffered bike lane section will be addressed on subsequent passes by the big plows. That it's only been 24 hours since the snow stopped and the city is still running routes and widening it from curb to curb. I'm sorry, Kyle, but if a plow comes down this road again, I would be shocked because the road itself is clear and no one's like, hey, go do that to, I mean, they will now because we did the story, but that's why you're going to see a plow now go down the side of the roads.
So a skeptic might say, Marshall, Kyle, 97.8% of Denverites do not commute by bike. Why are you guys talking about bike infrastructure so much and whether it's cleared, not cleared, partially cleared?
It's fair. But this is like the absurdity of it. Like, would we ever stand for this in a car? And if you're going to build out the bike infrastructure and you've got meetings that say, hey, it's too dangerous for bikes to share with cars, but then the snow comes and it's like, well, you got to share with the cars. We got to talk about that because you got to go 100% at some point.
Yeah, that makes sense. You can't tell people you should really bike more and at the same time when it snows, tell them, you know, up yours. Yeah. All right, Marshall, thank you. Tonight's next question comes from a viewer named Richard, who was surprised to read somewhere that Colorado requires fewer school days than other states and wondered why. Love this question, Richard, because it led to us learning something new today. So Colorado's minimum hours of instruction time goes back to a law from 1963. And you are right. Colorado's 160 days is the lowest in the country. Most states are at 175 or 180 school days. Colorado's Department of Education says school districts can even get a waiver to have fewer school days, like if they want to go 4 days a week, but make up the instructional time through longer school days, more hours. I was also surprised to learn just how many of Colorado's rural school districts have gone to 4-day weeks. So the state has 178 school districts. 124 have already been approved for 4-day weeks. 124, 178, and 115 of those are districts the state classifies as small or rural. The Department of Ed says districts go to 4-day weeks for a variety of reasons. They're trying to save money, they're trying to use it as a recruitment tool to be more attractive to teachers, or sometimes just because people in the community say that would work better. Made a big promise to every veteran in Colorado and across America that they can each get free emergency mental health care if they need it, either at a VA or a non-VA facility. This is significant. It could include 30 days of inpatient care or 90 days of outpatient care. Our Anusha Roy has reported extensively on the long wait times for mental health care in Colorado. So it's a simple question. How can the VA keep this promise?
The change is sending a very clear message to Dr. Eric French.
Don't shoulder it more than you have to. Come get some help.
Dr. French is a veteran.
13 Foxtrot board observer in the field artillery.
Now he's a specialist in mental health care for military and first responders and is hoping to see an influx of people after the VA's announcement.
It's a unique demographic, and I think many people can't quite handle the level of trauma that we listen to on a regular basis.
As of this week, eligible veterans can get free emergency care during an acute suicidal crisis. They can get care at a VA or non-VA facility, and it would cover things like transportation costs and even longer-term care without the veteran worrying about a bill.
And we're hoping that at minimum, this information can help veterans realize that not only, is their emergency care important, but that there's something waiting for them on the other side.
The other side could include as much as 90 days of outpatient care that would be free. But the non-emergency care wait times at the Rocky Mountain Regional VA Medical Center is 43 days for new patients and 9 days for current patients. And at the PFC Floyd K. Lindstrom VA Clinic, the largest VA facility outside of the Denver metro area, it's a 31-day wait for new patients and 16 days for current patients.
Always hiring more and more providers providers. We are always expanding.
But the VA didn't have the specifics at the time of this interview, and those wait times for the long-term care is a concern.
A temporary follow-up, even if they aren't established with care, because the VA does recognize that we cannot just release people and expect things to be better.
The highest comorbid diagnosis with trauma is a substance use disorder. I worry about that population. Like I was that population. And so, it's just nice to see that that's such a clear message. Like, hey, we need to do right by you guys.
And it's because of those wait times that Dr. French said it is so important that people can now get help both inside and outside of the VA system. It's simple. They have more options, so they have a better chance of getting help as quickly as possible. VA expects there's going to be some issues with bills, so they said that when you call them, they've actually set up a system to expedite those concerns so that a veteran isn't spending too much time sorting out their bills. They are focusing on their health and getting better.
Wait time for inpatient care inside the VA versus outside?
Yeah, I mean, we've heard so many nightmares. We've talked about it so much on this show across multiple systems, how difficult it is. The VA said what they do is they work within their entire system to get people in so that there shouldn't be a wait time, right? It's a pretty big system. It does mean, though, that some veterans could be transferred to a hospital outside of their community. They may even have to go out of state. The VA tries to keep people as close to home as possible, but that's not always possible.
Sure. We certainly know that there are a number of vets from outside Colorado who seek care here because we tend to have the capacity when our neighboring states don't necessarily. All right. Thank you, Nusha. Xcel's natural gas prices are way up, and so are the number of people asking for payment help.
People want to pay their bills. They just don't know how in the world they're going to do that.
Help is limited. And one of Denver's longest-running Lunar New Year celebrations is a family operation. That's next. Energy bills are higher than usual, so naturally more Coloradans are asking for help paying them. Some Xcel customers have reported their bills have doubled, even tripled in the past few months. Xcel attributes the price hikes to the rising cost of natural gas. Regulators gave them approval to pass along those costs in November. Organizations that try to help customers cover their bills say demand for their help has been off the charts. Energy Outreach Colorado says it's helped 20% more people this month compared to last January. Another payment assistance group, LEAP, says demand is up 10% this season. And frankly, assistance is limited.
Both LEAP and our bill payment assistance, they are only accessible once each year. And so people have to be thoughtful about when they are going for this assistance.
LEAP tries to help people strategize about when it would be best to get bill help and what they can do to lower their energy costs in the meantime. Xcel offers payment plans as well, and they've said that wholesale natural gas prices will be lower than expected next month. Residential customers can expect to save about $17.
A chilly evening out there. We're at 17 degrees at DIA. We're dry but cloudy and cold. It feels like just 7 degrees outside with winds coming in from the northeast at around 8 miles per hour. We are going to continue to monitor our HD Doppler radar for the next round of snow pushing into Colorado. I will say with this next system, the majority of it is looking to hit in the southern portions of the state. You can see it right now off to the west. It'll eventually make its way into the state midday Friday through early Saturday. So right now we are still pretty dry. We just have that cloud cover that moved in earlier this evening. As far as those winter weather alerts concerning the snow that's going to push in tomorrow afternoon, most of these alerts are going to just stay across the southeastern corner of the state where we have winter weather advisories, a winter storm watch, and winter storm warnings, where this area could see anywhere from around 2 to 8 inches of snowfall. Again, we're going to watch for this midday Friday through even midday Saturday. We can see that here on our Futurecast. Friday at noon is where we start to see some of the snow push into the southwestern corner of the state, maybe hitting some of the high country. And then as we go into the afternoon and early evening hours, it starts to make its way eastward, pushing into portions of the Front Range and Eastern Plains. But that's just going to be some snow showers. We're not going to expect a whole lot from this area. Where we are going to see the heavier stuff is going to be the southeastern corner of the state, where we do have those winter weather alerts. And that's not going to push out until maybe midday Saturday, where we're just going to watch for those lingering snow showers to eventually move out midday Saturday. So in the meantime, we stay dry. dry, mostly cloudy tonight. Those lows near 15 degrees. A pretty chilly evening ahead. We're going to watch for that evening snow to push in Friday through Saturday. Again, mostly across the southern portions of the state. Just a light snow shower pushing into portions of the Front Range around Denver. But then we have another round that'll make its way into the state Sunday through Monday.
They have put on 3 decades worth of Lunar New Year celebrations.
Keeping the traditions and our root, learning more about it and being able to share it with the community is very important to me.
They prepare to welcome us all to the Year of the Rabbit. Next. This weekend marks the Lunar New Year, beginning of the Chinese New Year celebrations. Decades of Lunar New Years have been celebrated in Denver, thanks to 2 brothers who came here from Vietnam in the 70s. We talked with Mimi Long from the Denver's Far East Center about carrying on that tradition.
Happy New Year! Lunar New Year is celebrated worldwide. This year is the Year of the Rabbit. It starts on January 22nd. Happy New Year! Every year, Trung An Gifts and the Far East Center host a huge celebration for the community. It says good luck. So the Lunar New Year is our holiday, our celebration for New Year using the lunar calendar. A long time ago, they would use that calendar for farmers. It's kind of like our Christmas tree. We decorate all our plants with different types of ornaments, and we would just hang them all over all our flowers and plants. The loud sound is to break away negative energy, scare all of that away. I love the tradition that my parents has taught me, all the different cultural celebration, how everything has some kind of meaning. So I think that it brings awareness to me, who was born here in the U.S., what our parents and our grandparents, how they used to celebrate it in their country. Keeping the traditions and our root, learning more about it, and being able to share it with the community is very important to me. Thank you, Go. Happy New Year. Chúc mừng năm mới, Go. For the Lunar New Year, we want to say Chúc mừng năm mới means Happy New Year in Vietnamese. Gong Xi Fa Chai is in Mandarin, and Gong Hei Fa Choi is in Cantonese. That means Happy New Year to everyone. Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This Sunday, 22nd Far East Center will host a lion dance, and they'll have more events the following weekend. Your feedback tonight includes helpful suggestions on how to run a debate with 25 mayoral candidates. Next. Chad writes, just wondering if your Denver mayoral debate will be 6 hours long. Need to know so I can schedule a day off from work. Sam, who's long involved with local government affairs here in Colorado, now retired, he had the suggestion, do it in 5 panels with 5 candidates on each panel and do it alphabetically. Sam, that is a really good idea, so we're not going to do it that way. We're going to find something more chaotic. Like what Paul says, playoffs, brackets, lightning rounds. I like all of those ideas, Paul. Very thoughtful. Elizabeth says, why so many candidates for Denver mayor? My mom says if everyone's doing it, it must be fun. No, Elizabeth, politics is not fun. I promise you, to do it or to cover it. But since Denver reelects its mayors, this could be the only shot in 12 years for somebody new to take that office. That's why so many people are convinced that you need to pick them. It's going to be wild. See you next time.